Kyrie has been the subject of so much controversy this season. Will this Dallas experiment work?
Well, Skip, the thing is, why put them together if the objective isn't to win a championship? And I think the question is, how do these two ball-dominant players, both of these guys need the ball to be effective, how do they mesh? You give up Finney-Smith, who's probably your most important wing defender, and you give up Dinwiddie, who's playing really well. He was shooting 40% from the three, averaging 17 points a game. Although Kyrie Irving is a better player, will he fit better? That's the question, Skip. Will he fit better than Dinwiddie did with Doncic? Now, we saw what Jalen Brunson did. The mistake was they let Brunson walk, and they didn't want to play the $20 million a year for 4 or 5 years. So now Kyrie's going to command $30 million more than the Brunson got, $20 million.
Yep.
He's looking for $200+ million a year.
He is.
I don't believe they make this deal without assurances that Kyrie says, okay, you do this deal, I'll resign. Because if Kyrie doesn't resign, Skip, what have you done? Will it work? I think they probably have, let's see, as far as player for player, they might be 1 or 2. I think Anthony Davis and LeBron might be 1. But they might have the second best combo, Skip, in the at least the Western Conference. We just do Western Conference because that's the objective. Let's say do West. They might have the second best combo. Jamal Murray and Yoke might have something to say about that. Paul George, Kawhi,
maybe.
But I think they're no worse than 3 if you combine those top 3. Skip, defensively, big guys. How do they stop somebody from pounding them on the glass? How do they stop an inside presence? How do they deal with a Nikola Jokic? How do they deal with and so that's my only thing, Skip. The objective is to win a championship. I think when Mark Cuban made this deal, he's looking at it like, okay, we did get to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson. I like to think Kyrie is a better player than Jalen Brunson. Even though Jalen Brunson, I think, should be an all-star, he still might make it. Will it work? Skip, in terms of work, what do you mean? Do you mean championship or do you mean getting to winning the Western Conference?
Will they win the West? That's the question. Can they? Will they? Should they?
Will they win the West? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say a big no.
And I thought you were going to say a big yes.
No. There were 2 bombshells this past weekend, one on Friday and one yesterday.
Okay.
And the first one was that Kyrie wanted out.
Right.
And then I sat back and thought about that, and I thought, well, he's actually doing the Nets a favor because they're out on him.
Right.
They're not going to pay him. They made it clear they're not going to pay him. And ESPN reported that it was a big sigh of relief within the confines of their organization when they finally got rid of him.
Well, they said they wanted stipulations into the contract.
Sure.
The behavior that you kind of displayed over the last 4 years.
But how are you going to stipulate against?
Right.
So the first bombshell really wasn't a bombshell because the Nets actually needed to get rid of him because unless he would just be on his best behavior down the stretch and then just play his way out and then become a free agent at the end of the year. If the Nets had been able to stay together and win the championship this year, I guess you got me, right?
Well, I think that's what he was thinking. Because you remember when because they went from like 7th, 8th, the 9th, all the way to like the 2 or the 3 seed in a matter of weeks.
With KD.
Right. So Kyrie is thinking like, okay, we get KD's injured right now. We get KD back. They're thinking championships. Okay, let's do this extension. They're like, nah, we want to do, we don't want to do the extension. He said, well, trade me. Knowing that we have an excellent chance to win the championship, he thought that would put more pressure on the Nets to do the deal.
He dared them, and they called his bluff.
They did.
They just said, okay, watch this.
Right.
You're out.
Right.
Second bombshell yesterday was, of all the teams, I just didn't see Dallas coming.
No.
And I was like, wait a minute, the Mavericks? And at a glance, as much as I like Spencer Dinwiddie, because he's pretty good, and he played there for 5 years, so they know the Nets know exactly what he is. And when he was there with not a lot of KD and Kyrie for that 1 year, that's 19 and 20, he averaged 22 and 7 assists. Well, he's pretty good.
Oh, he's an offensive scorer. Yeah. He's a guy. He's a bucket.
He is respectable as an NBA player.
Absolutely.
And then you just mentioned Finney-Smith. As wings go, and I'm talking about two-way wings, offense, defense, he's pretty good.
Yes.
He's pretty good. And you like to have him on your team, and Kevin Durant is said to really like him a lot.
Right.
Okay, so as good as those two are, and then you got another one of those distant future picks all the way out to 29. Then you got a second and 27 and a second and 29. But at a glance, I look at this and I say, Dallas just stole Kyrie Irving. They just stole him. He's Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
Any given night, he will have some highlight that you and I will sit back and say, there's nobody on earth who can do that.
No.
Unfortunately.
Nobody can finish at the rim like he can.
Okay.
Skip.
Unfortunately, the highlights don't equate to dubs. They don't equate to winning big.
No.
Because they come here and they come there. And then, unfortunately, as hard as I try to say, wait a second, Dallas stole Kyrie Irving, what exactly did they steal? Because I never know what you're going to get with him. Okay, so look at his track record. He was with LeBron. He did hit a big shot that helped LeBron come back from 3 games to 1 down to win a championship. We got that.
Right.
And right away, pretty soon, it took another year. Was it 1 more year after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played together 1 more year. And Kyrie was completely out on LeBron because, according to a source very close to Kyrie, who told me, Kyrie decided that LeBron was all about stats and not about winning.
Right.
That could really sum up Kyrie more than LeBron.
You won more with LeBron than you ever won in your life.
So he goes to Dan Gilbert and says, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And Dan Gilbert's like, where do you want to go? Boston.
Right.
Get me to Boston. Okay, I can do this.
Right.
I'm going to get you out of here because you helped me win a championship. And there you go to Boston. Right. And we all thought, boy, that's pretty good for Boston because it's Kyrie freaking Irving, right?
And they got Jason Tatum, and they have Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart.
They were young, but they were there.
Yes.
And we thought, with Kyrie as the leader of this group, well, he was the unleader.
Yes.
He led them under the bus, right? He led the whole group right under the bus, and they got run over by Kyrie in public conversation, right? In public comments.
Right.
And he flamed out and he quit on the Boston Celtics. Then he goes to the Nets. And we don't have enough show to talk about all that went wrong with the Nets because not only was he constantly hurt, and I'm never sure how hurt he is or if he just needed to take some time off.
Correct.
And he would get hurt and just stay hurt for like endless days where you say, well, what's up with him?
Correct.
I don't know. They don't hear from him, right? And then we had the vaccination issue. And then we had the posting of the link to the movie based on a book that was very anti-Semitic. Okay, we get on, and then the suspension, boom, 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 boom. It was one thing after another. He wore out the front office of the Nets. I think he wore his team out.
Yeah.
They just don't know what's next. Are you all in or all out? Kyrie made it very clear that basketball was no longer his priority, that there are bigger things in the world. And we kept saying, well, go do them, but be our guest, because if you're that guy, if you have a greater calling in life, go chase.
If you can help solve some of these world problems, Kyrie, I nominate
be our guest, right? Please.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's who Dallas just, quote unquote, stole from the Nets.
Right.
I just don't know. And that's just on, we're looking globally at who is Kyrie or who is he not.
Right.
I don't trust him, and I don't think they can trust him.
And Skip, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of teams, Kyrie is an unbelievable talent, but the reluctancy or the hesitancy that a lot of teams probably like, okay, yes, he's a phenomenal talent. Yeah, he's going to give us 27 points on a nightly basis. Yeah, he can go get us 30, 40, 50 in a given night. But is he going to always want to play basketball? Or is there going to be something else that all of a sudden, you know, hey, bro, I need to take this time off, or I need to skip. At the end of the day, reliability, availability is important.
It's it.
And we know
the essence of,
and he's been Skip, he's been injury prone. Remember, he only played 20 games his first year there. He messed his shoulder up.
Yeah.
And he's had injuries here and there, and he took the time off like, bro, hey, he didn't tell anybody that he was gone. And Sean Marks tried to cover and say, well, he did. That's not what you said the first night. When it first we reported, you said you didn't know anything about what Kyrie was doing. Then all of a sudden to try to save face to make Kyrie not look too bad because he's looking bad.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he shared it with me. Well, Steve, you didn't share it with your head coach because everybody was, well, hey, I don't know. Everybody's looking around. So, Skip, I can understand the hesitancy. But Joe Tsai, I guess he gave a sigh of relief. Skip, he was never going to trade Kyrie where he wanted to go. It seems to me it's come out that the Lakers, Kyrie wanted to go to the Lakers. Why would I do that? Me and you don't get along. So I'm not going to reward you by you asking out, and then I'm going to ship you to the Lakers.
Right. Dan Gilbert rewarded him by shipping him into Boston. Go ahead.
So, Skip, he's like, hold on. And he's like, Sean, the Lakers want him. Let's see what we can pry for him. It was reported, Shams reporting that they did offer the 2 first-round picks. They offered Russ. They said, we'll now throw in Austin Reeves and Max Christie, knowing they're not going to do that. And then they basically say, here, you can take Dorian Finney-Smith, you can take Dinwiddie at a first-round pick at 29 and 2 seconds. That's not a better package than what the Lakers originally offered you. Skip,
if you're sure about Austin Reeves and you're sure about Max Christie, are we sure about those? I'm not sure about those.
But you get 2 unprotected. If you're going to wait that long, I mean, one of the first-round picks, Skip, is at 29.
I got it. What disqualifies that is Russell Westbrook.
Right.
In many ways, he's worse than Kyrie. Not off the court, but on the court.
Right.
He's less reliable on the court than Kyrie is off the court.
Right.
So it's hard. I know he's had his stretches, but you know he's fallen now back to dead last in three-point shooting. So he's ranked 149th and last in NBA three-point shooting at 28.6%. It's so pathetic that it makes him a liability. But he still leads in turnovers per 36 minutes.
Well, what about if they were looking to buy him out?
Yeah, but they want to be respectable. They want to have a glimmer of hope of a chance down the stretch, and I think they have a glimmer of hope. I can't make a case for them winning.
I mean, Skip, but you saw what they were. They was like plus 650. I think they had the 3rd or the 4th best odds in the Eastern Conference. Now they're like 2,000. They way on down there.
But they're trying to keep Durant as happy as possible because the clock now ticks on, are we about to hear from him with his latest trade demand?
The difference is, and we're going to talk about this a little later, the difference is KD got 3 more years. Kyrie was going to walk this summer if you don't sign. What KD going to walk? Walk into the office and ask for a trade? Because he can't go anywhere. We got 3 years, bro. You owe us 3 more.
He does. And he signed that thinking that when he signed it, that James Harden and Kyrie were going to be there. Right. Well, the joke's on you, Kevin, because the 2 you can't trust.
Something's going on, Skip.
Yeah.
How do all 3 players at some point in time in the last 13 months ask for a trade? James Harden asked for 1 and got it. KD asked for 1 and didn't get it. Kyrie asked for 1 and he got it. What the hell is going on? Something's going on, Skip. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen a situation like this. You covered the NBA for 40 years. Have you ever seen 3 superstar players ask for a trade from the same organization within a span of almost a year?
I have not. And yet Kyrie started off by saying, Kevin and I don't even need a coach.
Yes.
And they got rid of that coach. And I thought that was a good move because I thought Steve Nash was overmatched. I don't think he's a great head coach. He was a great basketball player.
Well, they cut his legs off from under him from the jump. When you tell me we don't need you.
No shot. No shot. I would agree. Okay, now let's go back on the basketball court because I'm talking about Kyrie off. But on, he just had the luxury of playing with as efficient a great scorer as we've ever seen in the history of this league because, as you know, KD can take 12 shots and get you 30 points. It's just how he does business.
Correct.
And it happens so quietly night after night that you come to take it for granted when you shouldn't because he's just pure efficiency.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, you're going from the luxury of playing with Kevin Durant to a guy who's just a tick behind Giannis for overall usage rate in Luka.
Yes.
So I checked the usage rate last year with Jalen Brunson. Remember, Dallas is in this predicament right now. They had to take the plunge for Kyrie because they tried Porzingis.
Right.
And
that was an epic fail.
It was an epic fail, and they had to get rid of him at last year's trade deadline.
Right.
And then they didn't try Jalen Brunson this year, and that looks like, I don't know if we can go epic, but we go fail,
big fail,
big
failure.
Okay, so now they're stuck where they have no choice but to plunge for Kyrie and just close their eyes and hope that Jason Kidd and that Nico Harrison, who's their GM, who dealt with Kyrie and his stepmom, who's now his agent for all those years at Nike. But unfortunately, Nike is now turned the other way from Kyrie over the post. And now I don't know if there's any lingering bad blood there. I have no idea. So I don't know that Jason Kidd and Nico can sort of harness what is the best in Kyrie because nobody else has been able to.
And that's the thing, Skip. I mean, he was winning, he won a championship, was going to NBA Finals, and he wasn't happy. He wanted to be a leader, and then he realized leading is a lot harder than just saying, I'm a leader. Because what did he do, Skip? I got to show these guys in Boston how to win. They never won anything. They look around like, what did you win before LeBron? Okay, now he goes to the Brooklyn Nets. Come on, KD. Come on with your boy. We got this thing. They got two. They got two.
He was doing it up in the tunnel.
Yeah, they got 2 max contracts.
Yep.
Skip, this has been an epic fail for him and KD.
That's epic.
I'm talking about colossal, cataclysmic.
Like all time.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is it, Skip? At some point in time, the common denominator is it's got to be Kyrie.
It is.
He wasn't happy with LeBron. He wasn't happy as the leader in Boston.
Yep.
He wasn't happy in Brooklyn. What is his happiness? What is his mecca, his heaven? What's going to make Kyrie happy? He was winning championships, going to NBA Finals, and that didn't make him happy. He was the leader in Boston because they said he got these young guys, Tatum, Brown, Smart. He's won a championship. He come in and lead these guys. That didn't make him happy. He had co-sponsorship in what Brooklyn was doing. That didn't make him happy.
Yep.
When is he going to be happy? What is it going to take?
How can you be happy when your co-star leads the league in dribbles? Because that's what he does. He's just going to dribble. Giannis leads in usage rate, but that's just time with the ball in your hands. But in dribbles, I don't even have the stat, but I guarantee you Luka leads the league in dribbles because that's what he does.
Yes.
And you rave about his genius, Baby Bird, and now he's graduated. He might be Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Okay. So the point is that there's so much dribbling going on. Is Kyrie going to be happy? Because the way they have played offense, and last year they played it successfully because they played very good defense.
Right.
They ended up last year ranked 7th in defense.
Well, you lost your best defender, though.
You just got it. And you've also fallen this year to 24th in defense. That's why they're barely above 500.
Right.
Okay? So what happens? What does the offense degenerate into? It's Luka one-on-one or one-on-two.
Yeah.
And if you do like one-on-three and you just dare him, he will jump pass and skip pass it over to open shooters. And they did keep Hardaway, which was a good move because he can make them.
Right.
And he just needs snipers. Well, does Kyrie want to devolve into I'm just a sniper for Luka?
No.
Like a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter?
He can catch and shoot, Skip, but he needs the ball. He needs to be able to dance, put the ball, get to the mid-range or finish, go to the rim.
Yep.
So with Luka having the ball, I mean, there's only so many minutes in a game.
Okay.
There's only so many dribbles in a game.
All right.
And Luka has the lion's share of the ball in his hand for the minutes.
Okay.
So what Kyrie?
Okay, so you look at last year, down the stretch after they traded Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
What happened with Jalen Brunson and Luka in shots per game? Well, Luka went up a tick to about 23 shots a game.
Right.
And Jalen had 13 shots a game. Well, that's your niche.
No,
right?
Kyrie needs more than 13 shots.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that was the niche that Jalen Brunson carved out and got himself a great deal off that niche because people could see.
Seems like a bargain now.
Yeah, well, it does. but the Knicks said, if we expand that sample size from 13 shots to 20-some shots, we might have something.
Yeah,
well, you might have an all-star.
And they do have something.
Okay.
But, Skip, when you look at, in the West, you got to guard Kawhi and Paul George and Book and Murray and Morant and Fox.
Boy, do you. You better. Or you're going to be right back to square one.
Exactly. And I understand the Nets' position that they were in, Skip. There's like, at least we got something because he's going to walk kind of like what KD did to OKC. Skip, he walked.
Yeah.
If just think what they could have got for Kevin Durant. If you got that for Rudy Gobert, just imagine 5-6 years ago what you could have gotten for Kevin Durant. What, 6 first-round picks, unprotected, pick swaps?
Agreed.
And a couple of players.
Yep. Okay. So, remember, Dallas is just experimenting here.
Right.
And if they don't like what they see, if it blows up, they'll say, okay, so we wasted Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith.
Yeah, and a pick. And for some kid that's in the 6th grade.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But they'll just say, next.
Right.
And they'll let him walk.
Right.
So your Lakers might have a shot, depending on if this flames out or not. They might have a free agent shot at Kyrie where you don't have to give up anything.
Right.
And there'd be no more Russ, obviously, so you'd have a slot.
But it's also reported that the Lakers wanted to tie it to LeBron, 2 years.
Okay.
Well, Kyrie, I don't want to do 2 years. Yeah. I want the full 4 years, 198, basically $50 million a year.
Yeah, it's $200 million. That's what it is. He wants the equivalent of a max deal.
But you could, Skip, I don't understand how anyone can't see the reluctancy of any team wanting to sign Kyrie long-term, given his history. Forget what happened before LeBron got to Cleveland, because we don't really know there wasn't a whole lot going on. They weren't winning, so nobody gave a damn what was going on in Cleveland.
Good point.
But once LeBron returned and we saw the inner workings, how the guy went months without speaking in the playoffs to his teammates, and we see what has transpired in Cleveland and Brooklyn and in Boston, you don't understand the hesitancy?
And by the way, I want to compliment you on a point you used to throw back at me, and I couldn't argue out of it, was what was Kyrie doing before LeBron got there?
Yes.
What was it, 3 years? Or
Yeah.
Was it 3 or 4?
Well, he went to Cleveland. Didn't he go to Cleveland the year after LeBron? Nah, maybe 2 years after LeBron. Because he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
So they had to be really bad.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so 3 years. So he was there 3 years.
So he was there for 3 years, and they did nothing.
Nothing.
And so you should question,
Right.
Wait a second. He was so good coming out of school that he did nothing.
Right.
Right?
They didn't win a national championship with
No,
him.
because obviously
He was
LeBron,
hurt.
now I'm going to the highest level, or MJ or whoever.
Right.
They come out of college, or not LeBron, but MJ, obviously, and right away you see,
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. You can see, he's changing life.
Right.
For the Oklahoma City Thunder, right?
Well, guess what? Kyrie was there, and they got the lottery again. They got the number 1 overall pick.
They got
Tristan Thompson.
That is correct.
So
what's his legs? What has he done exactly except hit one big shot in a Game 7?
Skip, he works really well when he has a de facto true number 1. We played with Kevin Durant. He played with LeBron. Okay, Luka's that guy. Now the question, because he sees himself, Skip, on the level with them.
Does.
He started to see himself on the level with LeBron. He said it. I got a guy look down to the bench, and I got a mofo that can hit a shot just like I can. He sees himself on that level.
Yep.
He sees himself on the. So he's not going to take a back seat to Luka.
No, not in his head. Jason Kidd may have something to
It's
say
going to be
about
an
that.
interesting experiment, gentlemen.
Yes,
that's for sure.
that's
This
exactly
thing went
what it is,
down
an experiment.
so quickly. Caught a lot of people by surprise this weekend.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.